Hello everyone, you have the Bub031 here again. And it's been a while since I've done a review. The last review was actually on the ADM ethanol tank cars from Athrean RTR. So I decided to do another one here again, because I said I would. And I'm doing it on the relaunch of the SW1000 in Via Rail scheme. This is only a DC model, so I can't do any sounds or anything like that. So we're mostly just going to go over the details. I'll go over the quick price comparison, and I'll also show you what I've done with, well, not particularly what a friend of mine did with a first run, and just go from differences with that locomotive as well to this locomotive. So I want you all to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Now that we have the intro out of the way, let's begin this review on this model. We'll first start with the box. So this is the new Athrean RTR look, like I explained the last time with the ethanol cars. I'll show you just a quick comparison because I do have my other 1000 out. This is what the other box looked like. So it is, they're going with this new color scheme as well. Usually you'll either have Tsunami attached to this, but I decided to go with a DC version as well that comes with LED lights. Also, it actually has a good picture diagram of the locomotive on the front. That way there, because a lot of these locomotives in brick and mortar hobby shops, they're actually laying like this instead of, like, say, standing up vertically. So this way here, if you see this, you could see your picture quickly of what you want to grab quickly from the brick and mortar shops. All right, let's open this up. Okay, so when I pulled this out of the packaging with just opening up the box and seeing in the clear plastic, I noticed that the window was already pushed in and inside. As well, this little black piece was actually squished between the plastic sleeve and the actual mount of the locomotive. But all in all, so far, so good. Like, that's the only issues, other than, which I will show you a little bit later as I'm spinning the model around, I will talk about. So, as you can see, we have the SW1000 here. Not so far a bad locomotive, just already a few points down with pieces that have fallen out. I wish I had a piece of track as well to run the LEDs, but I don't. So we're going to start off with the front. Yes, they did have the right proper number boards, and as well this does have LED lights. I have gone over pictures of the number boards, so it's proper. You have see-through grills, and as well, I believe underneath is the actual area where you glue the speaker to the actual frame. A lot of the parts are independently applied, like all the grab rails and all that. You have McHenry couplers on the front and on the rear with a single airline hose. Good truck detail, good fuel tank detail, as we're holding, and good crisp lettering, especially in the VIA and the actual road number. Underneath, we're still going more as well. The fuel tank is the weight, and as well, you could see on the back end of this, and just underneath where I'm pointing to with tweezers now, on each side, that's where the LED lights are for the truck inspection lights. The pieces do bend quite a bit on this, so it is a very fragile locomotive. So we're going to continue around. You can actually see the control stand and all the individual details to that. Compared to the last one, it actually is a lot more detail. There's independent seats. You can see the conductor's brake valve on the far side as well. This window in the back, the door window, actually it was starting to come off a little bit. So I had to add a little bit of glue to just put it back in place. You got your McHenry coupler on there, as you can see. You got your McHenry coupler and your single hose coming to the other side of the locomotive, pointing to, there's the other LED like I mentioned earlier. You got your brake piping, good truck detail, your indication to where your fire extinguisher is under the hood, as well as your actual handbrake on the actual platform in front, and all the independently applied grab irons. So far, the only issues that I had is just a couple of pieces. But yeah, it is not that bad of a locomotive. All right. So we're going to take a look at another one. So this is the first run RTR of the SW1000. It is a lot different due to the fact that a lot has been done, especially what you see with the strobe lights and all that. Those were added on. I want to thank my buddy Tal Trains. He did this for me a while back. He added a decoder buddy, ESU lock sign decoder, sugar cube speaker. He also put in LED truck lights, inspection lights, step lights, and he put the strobes in too. So, quite a few differences. You could tell the new model has a single horn. I had to add the original horn to the original one because it's a 3-chime in real life compared to a single horn, which they just add from Athrean. As well, on the first run, you can see all the MU hoses on the first run compared to just a single air line on the front and back. As well, you can see that the paint's a little bit different too. The first run is a lot more shinier, whereas the second run's a little bit more dull. And on the first run, there was also a catwalk, whereas the new run does not have one. Front and back. Alrighty, so there's quite a few differences from the first run to this run. So we're going to basically now wrap it up. Okay, everyone, so far, a few issues that I have with the locomotive is that, well, one, some pieces fell off, like the glue's not really holding to some of the actual pieces. But other than that, not a bad locomotive. If I had DCC and sound, which this will have later on, I'm probably going to get ESU for it, so we'll go with that. But all in all, from an RTR, you are sort of expecting this, except for, say, the parts that were falling off. Athrean does need to actually work on their quality control, like I said earlier in the video. But it's not a bad locomotive, very crisp. I like how the actual faded the color instead of actually making it a gloss color. It's actually it's a dull, which I like. But yeah, not a bad locomotive, everyone. If you can, I'd say go pick them up at your brick and mortar hobby shop or online. Price is not that bad. It's actually a decent locomotive for this. I would say if you're willing to look at getting a switcher for, say, your VA yard, you should. But yeah, that's going to be it, everyone. Don't worry, there are going to be more videos to come. And this is going to be it for the review. So, thanks for watching. And as always, make sure the signal's green and keep moving down the line.